In Athens, there's a theater called the Theater of Dionysus on the south side of the Acropolis, which still exists today and even occasionally has performances there. In the 5th century, before the Common Era, the Greeks had an annual celebration at that theater in honor of Dionysus, a celebration which included the writing and performing of tragedies. And every year a winner was declared, and this was one of the greatest honors that any Athenian could ever receive. In spite of the importance of that festival, though most of the plays from the 5th century have been lost over time, all that we have are a few by the really great ones, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. And of those few plays, we have only one trilogy. That is, only one of the traditional group of 3 that were presented and put on for the contest. The 3 plays of this trilogy, and it's one of the most famous works that we have from ancient Greece, are usually referred to as the Oresteia, that is the whole group, and the individual plays are typically called the Agamemnon, the Libation bearers, and the Eumenides, or the Furies. So here's just a brief survey of the three plays. In the first play, Agamemnon is coming home from the Trojan War, where he's been the major general, and he is welcomed by his wife, Clytemnestra, walks into their home, their palace in Argos, and while he's taking a bath, she murders him. She's angry because years before, in order to get a wind that would take the fleet to Troy, he sacrificed their young daughter, Iphigenia, and she's never forgiven him for that. In the second play, the children of Agamemnon and Clytemnestra, namely Orestes and his sister Electra, plan to murder their mother in revenge for murdering their father. And in that play, Orestes carries out the dirty deed. In the third play, Orestes is plagued with feelings of guilt, and he's pursued by what are sometimes translated as evil demons. Finally, he's brought to trial in Athens, and Athena, the goddess, sets up a jury of 12 citizens to determine whether he's guilty or not guilty. They end up having a tie in their votes, and so Athena says that she has a tying vote, like the vice president of the United States, and so she rules in favor of Orestes, and she sets up a court for the Athenians to use for the rest of their future when they try serious cases. So we're going to read that story. That is a modern translation of it. The modern translation gives a different title for the second and third plays, but that's not a big deal. But I am going to ask that everybody buy this particular translation so we can be on the same page in studying it. And we can get this translation for anywhere from $6 to $12, I think is about the most. So we will read this trilogy carefully and talk about it and try to arrive at some deeper understanding of the motivations of these characters and what importance and what understanding they can give us today. So I hope you join me.